Nimelt ma palun lavale Odette ja Tetlie Bergeni ülikooli muuseumist, kes hakkab meile rääkima sellest nimelt, et kuidas kliimamuutustega seotud haridus teha paremini kättesaadavaks, paremini mõistetavaks ja paremini kaasahaaravaks, sest eks see ju nii ole, et igasuguse õppimise üks osa valemist on see, et kuidas ma ise sellest saan võimalikult palju algusest peale kaasa lüüa ja olla kaasatud. Nii et see pealkiri kõlab ingliskeelselt Engaging Children in Climate Change Education at the University Museum of Bergen. Ja ma annan sõna.
Hello.
The floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Yes, I am Odette Tetlie. I come from Bergen in Norway. And I've been invited to speak about the University Museum's work in climate change education. Oops. Yeah, something went different here. Is this the clicker there, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, hold on a second. Yes, thank you.
Väikse abi eest ja ma samal ajal ütlen ka, et ka meie Norra külalisele samamoodi saate küsimusi esitada kirjalikult, et kui te vaatate workshopi keskkonnas, on siis puu, kus on meie tänane kava, et ka selle ettekande ja meie külalise nime taga on siis nupp nimega küsi. Pange kenasti kirja oma küsimusi, võivad olla inglise, võivad olla eesti keeles ja katsume neid siis samamoodi lõpus ka esitada. So we should be moving. Yeah, that's just a second.
You're not supposed to see all these slides now.
No, yeah, that's fine. That's usually what happens when I'm on floor.
We'll come back to you in a bit.
Yes.
I think I'll just start.
So,
thank you.
Yeah, you can start, but otherwise you can just tell how was your travel?
It was very fine. It was quick, and I had only 30 minutes in Arlanda. And I stayed last night in Tallinn and walked around the old town, and it was beautiful. I was also here last year, so I'm very, very happy to be back. The reason I was invited was because we had a collaboration last year and the year before with University of Tartu and University of Tallinn. So we had visitors coming to Norway. And we also visited back to Tartu and Tallinn last year. So I'm very, very happy to be back. Thank you so much for inviting me. I am the educational leader of the University Museum in Bergen. And we have educational program, a lot of educational programs aimed to children and young people at the museum. So I'm here to share some of our experiences and come with some examples on how we teach climate education in Bergen. Understanding climate change is so crucial for everyone, and especially for young people. In Norway as well as in Estonia, we face a significant challenge because many children, adolescents and also adults do not fully grasp the science behind climate change or don't even believe it. We have quite a low climate literacy also in Norway. And we have to address this gap now, otherwise we leave the risk of leaving the kids and youths unprepared to make informed decisions in the future. Our mission is to change this narrative. We believe that if we introduce climate change in engaging ways, the children would grow up equipped with the knowledge and skills to be leaders who can tackle the crisis. Today, I will share to you how we at the University Museum approach climate education and why, and some of the educational methods that we use at the University Museum to make the education both learning and both meaningful and enjoyable. We have developed various educational programs designed to simplify these complex issues. And we use a lot of engaging and interactive methods, not methods that I'm using now. We never stand and talk and hold lectures, so I'm sorry about that, but you are welcome to my workshop later. We're going to do more active learning then. So, how do we teach? We know that classroom teaching, the traditional classroom teaching, often falls short. So we employ a lot of diverse learning methods at the museum. We blend drama, we blend storytelling, and we blend hands-on activities to create a unique and immersive learning experience. So in the programs, children are never passive representatives of information. They actively participate in the learning journey, and we encourage to ask questions and explore climate issues for themselves, fostering critical thinking and personal discovery. So you can sort of divide the methods that we use into three main topics. We engage through drama and storytelling, and we use a lot of interactive learning and experience. And we also encourage exploration through different exercises. And we, of course, never give answers. I'm sorry I'm using a script here because English is not my first language either. So I had to translate translate into English, and so I have to use this text. Our fundamental belief is that children are naturally and born curious and active learners. We believe that learning programs and activities should be built around the children's own interest and their natural desire to socialize and participate in their own learning process, fostering motivation and the desire to learn. And we also recognize that every student, every child learns in a different manner. They learn in a different way, and they have their own unique interest. So we design all our education programs accordingly to this, to strive to use a lot of, like a wide range of educational methods in each program. So to reach into, are we hoping to and thriving to reach into every child in each program. So the programs are activity-based. We emphasize on problem solving and exploration rather than lecturing. So we want to challenge the students both emotionally and cognitive and on physical levels. So we range our activities from everything from drama to activities to lab experiments and philosophical dialogues and archaeological excavation. We are influenced by John Dewey in his pedagogic creed that came out in 1897. He outlined his vision for education and teaching, and that philosophy has greatly influenced my own pedagogical beliefs throughout my whole studies and career in kindergarten and schools. I worked for 12 years teaching in kindergarten and preschool and school education. So I was teaching in a teacher's college. Dewey, of course, argued that children are not passive receivers of knowledge, and they are curious and naturally inclined to explore and engage in the activities. He emphasized the learning by doing, where he highlights the importance of student activity in the learning process, with problem solving and experimentation as key components. Research of museum education also supports the idea that the museum education should engage students on an emotional, cognitive and physical level, and also link their education to the curriculums in school content, while there should also offer a type of experiences that schools cannot provide alone. And so activities should promote student involvement, reflection, and decision makers. At the University Museum, we also have a very good cooperation and a good relationships with the researchers at the University of Bergen. And that is quite crucial for developing relevant and high-quality education programs. And we also network with schools and kindergartens to ensure that the teaching that we offer aligns with the educational goals and the interdisciplinary themes in schools and kindergartens. At the heart of all our programs is the idea that climate change and nature are deeply connected. So one of our biggest goals is to help children fall in love with nature, because we believe if they love and appreciate nature, of course they will be much more motivated to protect it. So we don't just teach any facts about climate change, we also want to show the beauty and the complexity of the natural world. So we are rooted in a belief that if children develop this deep connection to nature, they will grow up caring and have a need and a want to care about the environment and a need to preserve it. So what do we do? I'm going to give some examples of our education programs. I started with a program aimed for the very young ones from 3 till 8-year-olds. This is one of our most popular education program. It's called The Ice is Melting, It's for Real. We named it that because we heard a child scream it in the museum once, so we took that title and made an education program out of it. This is one of the most popular programs. It's very dynamic and interactive, and the children come on a journey along 2 very delightful penguins. This is Pia. She's named after Pia Post, one of our, and that's me. That's Pia. And Bling. They have urgent news to share about their rapidly changing icy home. Pia and Pling, they have noticed some alarming transformations. The ice is shrinking, the food is becoming scarce, and their friends are disappearing, and they want to know why. So they are very concerned about these changes, and they invite the children in for a tour around the museum to get the children to help them solve the mysteries affecting their world. As the children join Pia and Bling, they engage also in thought-provoking exploration by considering crucial questions as what lives in the sea, why is the ocean essential for the planet, and what should not be in the sea. And these questions serve as a springboard for deeper conversation about the marine environment and the interconnectedness of all life. So this is shaped as a process drama where the kids are involved, and they are playful and creative and participatory methods to foster learning. The Penguins' adventure, it acts as a narrative frame for the children. There's a story and there's a problem to be solved, which is we find it's sometimes a good way of starting an education program. And we use role-playing and imaginative exploration. So the kids are encouraged to express their thoughts and ideas and feelings about environmental issues through game making, really. So we, in this particular program, we delve into different critical topics, including plastic littering and pollution, and both chemical and sound pollution, and climate change. So it's more than just an educational activity, it's also sort of a call for action. Another example is an education program for the oldest visitors in schools, between 14 and 18-year-olds. It's called Carbon Capture and Storage, a solution for the climate crisis, and a very important question mark there. This educational program sprang to life from an exhibition that the museum launched in 2022. It was a collaboration between the museum and the university's faculty of mathematics and natural sciences. And the research behind the exhibition is exploring how we can utilize the porous rocks and sediment layers beneath the North Sea beds, where we have, in these huge storage areas that we have been extracting oil from for years, that are now filled with water. One of the Norwegian government's main goals is to tackle the climate crisis by reducing CO2 emissions. And to achieve this, they are also researching a lot on how to work with CCS. And the researchers that were collaborating in the exhibition were working on safe and responsible methods for carbon storage. So the oil and the water and the gas are stored in tiny, tiny little pores of the sandstone. But why doesn't it just bubble up to the seabed? Why is it stored inside? And that's because of the cap rock, of course, in clay and slate, keeping it all in place. So this is what we do in the education program. We have created these, you can see the picture there, mini rigs, where we create, we simulate geological layers using different types of porous or different sizes of sand grains. And what we do is we fill it with blue-colored water, and then we inject CO2 into these rigs. And that's a lab test for that the students use in groups of 3 to 4, so they can for themselves explore how the CO2 reacts and how it behaves in the different sediment layers of sand. So it's a very practical activity that we use in this particular education program. So our goal is also for the kids to understand how the researchers think and work, and we allow them to do their own tests to also show how different the results can be. And we also want to make research engaging and fun, and possibly sparking interest for the kids, for subjects that they might not have considered before. So the researchers are quite confident in their findings, and we do agree that carbon capture and storage could be a promising solution for the future, but we also want to encourage the students to think quite critically about the research and also about the political decisions behind it. So we use in the part 2 of this education program, we have a drama bit where we do a role, a panel discussion where they take on different roles. We spark a discussion with quite bold statements such as we should not waste resources on carbon storage, let's focus on cutting consumption instead. Or very bold, coming from Norway, as long as we make good money from oil, we should keep searching for it and extract it. Or protecting ocean life must take priority over human needs and economic growth. So in this activity, all the students are given different roles with diverse viewpoints, and we find it's quite fruitful to work in that way with youths, because what we see is between 14 and 18, not everyone has dare to speak out in their own feelings and their own meanings. So using role play, you are forced to have a view and a viewpoint, and it's maybe something completely different from what are your own beliefs, but it's sometimes easier to do a debate as someone else, and we see that they engage themselves more, and we have more fruitful discussions from different views using role play. So I'm going to have a workshop later on today. There I'm not going to be talking for half an hour, but I invite you to join in a debate, and you all get different roles. We have room for 20 people in that role play. I hope to see some of you there. So in this program, I sum up, the youth learn about what is CO2, how does it affect the atmosphere, what's the consequences, and what can be solutions for capturing and storing it in the future. So we use very simple and visual explanations to help them understand these processes. And I think by introducing also technical solutions and that they can do themselves, we also teach that climate change is not just hopeless, and there are maybe some solutions, and maybe they can become the researchers researching on how to find more solutions. In the spring term of this year, we had 12,000 school children and youth visiting the museum, and about 4,000 of these were participating in one of the education programs. And these two that I've given examples from, the CO2 program and the ice is melting, are the two definitely most booked programs. And I think that's because they are linked so closely to the curriculum and to the wide topics in the curriculum. When we opened The Ice is Melting is for real in April, we opened it at the same time as One Ocean Week in Bergen. We had 28 group bookings in a matter of hours after we released it online. So it's been hugely popular. Sorry. Teachers are coming back to these education program with new classes each year, and some teachers have made it as a regular visit as a part of their semester plan. One teacher says she comes because her youths understand so much more about the geological processes after having been at the museum. So there is a strong need for these topics in school, and it's a strong need that we develop programs for the schools, because the climate and the changes in the world and in the climate and new research comes out so much quicker than the school's curriculum is turning. So there's a need for being presented to what is happening right here and right now, and that's where the research from the university is the direct access to the education programs at the museum is a direct access to what is the research going on in the university right now. Yes, so we have we have a few other educational programs that we are releasing very soon. The Climate Riddle is for students aimed between 5th to 7th grade, and it focusing on human-induced climate change. And also in this program, we use group activities, we use storytelling, and we use creative expression. And it's aimed to deepen the kids' awareness for environmental challenges. It has 3 primary objects, which is to increase awareness and stimulate critical thinking and inspire action. And this program is going to be very exciting. We have 7 different tasks for the kids, and each task is sort of addressing one specific aspect of climate change. Task 1, we get a message in a bottle from the plastic whale. Has anyone heard of the plastic whale in Bergen? No, it's about 7 years ago now. There was a whale that swam very, very close to the harbor, and it behaved in a very odd manner. And researchers and specialists could not understand. They tried to sort of chase it out to the deep sea again and away from the shore, but it kept coming back and looked very ill. So ill that they had to put it down. And the researchers from the university and from the museum was there when they opened the guts on the whale, and it had about 47 plastic bags inside its guts. So it was very ill, and it had taken over all its ingestion system, and it became quite a big case of it in Norway, and was on the news in many countries in the world. And the whale skeleton is now a part of the whale hall in the top floor of the museum. So we can go and look at it and use it in education programs. So one of the tasks is, this is the idea, that it's not quite finished yet, it's in a planning state, this education program, but we get a message in a bottle from the plastic whale, where the theme is ocean pollution and plastic pollution. So in this task, the kids will decode the message in the bottle and reflect on measures to reduce plastic waste. The task 2 is an SOS from a polar bear, where the theme is global warming. So the goal here is to understand the consequence of ice melting, and the activity will be somehow of listening to sound recording and decode a message from the polar bear and explore how climate change does impact their habitat. Task number 3 will be to decode an encrypted message from an endangered species. So the theme in this task is biodiversity, and the pupils will, in this task, reflect on conservation strategies. And task number 4 is to create an Instagram or a TikTok, like a social media style post from a plant. And the theme is plant conservation. And the pupils will discuss the role of social media in raising environmental awareness. So these were the 4 first tasks, and that is number 5 and 6 and 7 have different themes and different activities. The themes will be global warming, increased CO2 commission, and deep sea mining. So we sort of divided into seven tasks with seven different topics and different exercises. So it's quite a holistic approach to teaching, and we do a lot of interactive and reflective discussions through these tasks. Another new project coming up is, the title is for now, The Humans and the Ocean. This is a program aimed for 8th till 10th grade, and it's aiming to deepen awareness of the relationship between humans and the marine ecosystems. With the pressing challenges of ocean pollution and climate change, this program is equipping students with knowledge and skills for environmental stewardship. Also, this is divided into different themes, themes as human impact on the ocean. We will examine both the positive and negative effects of human activities on marine ecosystems. And one theme is plastic pollution. And also this we will investigate the story of the plastic whale, but investigating origins of plastic whales and its journey into the ocean and the impact on the marine life. And sound pollution, how the sound pollution affects marine life. And in this program, we will use exploratory stations where they will rotate between 6 to 8 different stations, each focusing on a specific theme connected to ocean's health. So they also contain hands-on discussions. For example, one is to explore sand samples from nearby beaches to see if we find microplastic. And I do have sand samples from every beach around Bergen, and there is microplastic in each of my samples. So through these educational programs, we highlight both positive and negative aspects of human interaction with nature. And we want to help the students understand this balance we must strike between utilizing natural resources and protecting the environment. We use, as you have seen, a lot of different teaching methods in our education programs, because we think that, we know that using diverse learning styles, because children learn differently, we have to have a varied approach to ensure that everyone engage. We think that these diverse teaching methods will promote engagement. We think that it will bring attention and motivation to the kids. And we think it encourages critical thinking and supports individual interest. We also believe that using a different and a diversity of teaching methods is helpful for building social skills and address the kids' different needs and enhances retention. So one of our primary objectives is to inspire students and motivate them for further learning and turning the museum into a place for lifelong learning and repeated visits. I think that the teaching will promote insight and reflection and dialogue and social interaction. We also want students to gain experience in involvement and decision-making to foster democratic competence. So we do strive to always find methods that enhance students' participations and opportunities for independent thinking, including insights into research processes and critical thinking. We do know that many of the students and the kids that come to us, they are there maybe for their first time, and many are there for maybe the only time. Despite that we have a note that we have equal opportunities in Norway, the reality is often very different. And many of the students in the university and people going to higher education come already from academic background. The pathway of where you're going in life is very often predetermined. You have a route that you're supposed to follow. So we're trying to make this maybe the first and maybe the only meeting with the university exciting and showing that there's a place for everyone. We want everyone to call it our museum, and also thinking maybe research is something for me anyway. Maybe this is my path. So, yeah, we want them to find it. Our goal is more to have an exciting and enjoyable experience rather than teaching only facts. So the main point of my talk here today is how we do the teaching. At the University of Bergen, we believe that using this mix of drama, using mix of interactive methods, exploration in topics around climate change can make this education both exciting, understandable, and fun. So we don't want just the kids to learn facts. We want to inspire the kids to take care of the earth. We want them to have a need to do so. And we want them to understand how they can be a part of the solution. And this is my colleague Ida. She was supposed to be here today, but she had to pass out. She gives my love to you. Yes. So thank you so much for your time and for inviting me. And I'm very happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Odette. Let's give a round of applause. Actually, we had a thought that maybe I can give a short translation as a summary for those maybe who didn't get everything correctly. And then you can just relax a bit and wait for questions, because probably we get more in that case. Okay, feel free, yeah. Teeme siis sellise kiire kokkuvõtte, et mida kuulda oli ja millest sai räägitud, et võib-olla kerkib veel selle lühikokkuvõtte käigus mõningaid küsimusi esile teie jaoks. Kindlasti on siin inimesi, kes tegid juba enda jaoks märkmeid ja tähelepanekuid, väga tore, ja te saate siis mind täiendada ja tõsta võib-olla käe üles või siis pärast öelda inimestele, mida teie oluliseks pidasite, näiteks kommentaaride ja küsimuste vormis. Aga ma alustan sellest, et siis ettekandes sai rõhutatud seda, et laste ja noorte kliimaharidus on ülimalt oluline, kuna kliimapädevus just noorte puhul on näha, et seal on märkimisväärne lõhe ja muuseumi töö eesmärk ongi valmistada neid noori ette tulevasteks väljakutseteks, juurutades siis kaasahaaravaid haridusprogramme, mis edendavad kliimaprobleemide mõistmist. Aga kuidas siis Bergenis muuseumis täpsemalt seda õpetamist tehakse? Et on selline märksõna siin kirja saanud ja üles märgitud nagu draama ja jutuvestmine. Mida see siis tähendab, et on köitvad lood, on need siis narratiivid, mis loovad kuidagi öeldes emotsionaalse sideme, et tekibki sellise igasugune lugu, mida me ikka teame, et kui lugu räägitakse, siis kui on huvitav lugu, siis see kuidagi köidab ja seob ja ei ole kuidagi moodi teisiti. Me kõik oleme inimesed, sama kehtib ju ka meie noorema põlvkonna jaoks ja laste jaoks, eks ole. Et nii siis õnnestub luua see ühendus ja soodustada ka sellist kaasamõtlemist juba päris noorest east. Siis järgmiseks on märksõna praktilised tegevused, mis on ka üldiselt iseenesest mõistetav, eks ole, et praktilised katsed julgustavad edasi uurimist ja tegelikult ka sealjuures kriitilist mõtlemist ja annab sellise vahetu tegelemise võimaluse, ehk siis kui võib-olla päris noorte puhul räägitakse ikka, et mäng on väikese inimese töö või mäng on lapse töö, siis igasugune tegevus on ikkagi see, mis meid teemaga hästi seob ja aitab ka kaasa mõistmisele. Siis sai veel esile toodud ka seda, et Bergeni muuseumis on selline õpetamisfilosoofia mõjutatud tuntavalt John Dewey ideest seoses aktiivõppega. Ja sellised peamised uskumused hõlmavadki järgmist, et tegevuspõhine õpe, kus programmid rõhutavad uurimist ja probleemide lahendamist. Nii et ma juba kiikasin siin ka, et mis küsimusi on siin esitatud, et siis üks küsimus tulebki sinna juurde, mis mul endal ka nagu natuke tekkis, et kui vahel on see tunne, et see kliimakriis kui selline või kliimamuutused tekitavad meis nii noortes kui vanades sellist hämmeldust, et issand jumal, et tuleb mingisugune hull asi ja me pigem nagu kardame ja ei taha sellele mõeldagi, siis hea lähenemine on need asjad lahti seletada ja mõelda hoopis probleemide lahendamise peale. Nii et sellest siis ka, seda võetakse ka arvesse erinevate õpetamisstiilide puhul ja on rõhutatud ka õpilaskeskset lähenemist, et lapsi vaadeldakse kui aktiivseid õppijaid, kelle haridus on kohandatud nende huvidele ja sotsiaalsele dünaamikale. Niimoodi, mis veel kirja sai? Muuseumi haridusprogrammides rõhutatakse kliimamuutuste ja looduse vahelist seost, mille eesmärk on sisendada armastust keskkonna vastu ja see side on teada, et motiveerib lapsi ka aktiivselt loodust kaitsma. Nägime selliseid toredaid pingviine, praegu üks nendest pingviinidest on seal selja taga, et pisike selgitus selle juurde ka, et siis 4–7-aastastele lastele on sellises ka, siis võib öelda natuke näitemängu vormis seda ja loojutustamise vormis just siis võttes kasutusele lugu ja draama sinna juurde, et jää sulab ja see on päriselt toimumas. Ja see on siis selline interaktiivne seiklus 4–7-aastastele lastele, kes õpivad läbi 2 pingviini loo kaudu kliimamuutusi tundma ja seal juures veel läbi siis nende olendite, nende vahvate pingviinide õnnestub ka lastega pidada arutelusid mere ökosüsteemide ja näiteks merereostuse üle. Siis me nägime ühte sellist pilti, kus oli näha väike akvaariumi sarnane anum, kus sees oli vesi ja seal puhul siis räägiti süsihappegaasi kogumisest ja säilitamisest ja miks mitte siis see väikese mudelkeskkonna ehitamine, kus on veekogu silmaga näha ja veekogu põhi ja kuidas see CO2 ja kuhu ta paikneb ja kuhu teda koguda ja säilitada annab, kuhu ta ka looduslikul teel koguneks. Ja tulevikuprojektidest ka põgusalt oli siin juttu, et on kliimamõistatus, erinevad siis ülesanded seal juures, kus noored saavad kaasa lüüa mõistatuste lahendamisel. Need on siis interaktiivsed ülesanded, mis keskenduvadki inimtegevusest tingitud kliimamuutustele ja selle eesmärk on inspireerida õpilasi tegutsema ja ka samamoodi nende kriitilist mõtlemist. Siis on programmis ka tulemas Inimesed ja ookean, see on 8–10 klassideni mõeldud programm, mis uurib inimeste mõju mere ökosüsteemidele ja seal juures rõhutab ka vastutustundlikku majandamist ja praktilisi lahendusi ookeanide terviseprobleemidele. Nii et Ja juttu oli ka sellest, et mis on ka, ma arvan, üsna tavapärane praktika meilgi, et on võimalik teha rollimänge, kus on arutelu vormis erinevate vaadete esindajad. Ma arvan, et ka täna ühes siis töötoas on võimalik meie Norra külalisega astuda rollimängu ja võtta endale siis seal ülesanne olla teatud vaadete esindaja, isegi kas või siis, kui see ei pruugi teie enda vaadetega otseselt seostada või täppi minna, siis see annab võimaluse kuidagi näha olulisi küsimusi ja probleeme kellegi teise pilgu läbi, et aitab ju mõistmisele kaasa ikka. Me nägime ka ühte vaala skeletti, sealt nurgast natuke pildi pealt paistab, selle pingviini pea kohal on vaala, ma ei tea, roideid siis näha vist. Et plastikust vaalast oli jutt, et Norra randa uhuti siin 5-6 aastat tagasi, käis ka uudistest ilmselt meil läbi, et üks vaal, mis oli hukkunud, esialgu inimesed püritasid teda tagasi mere poole suunata, et mis vaalal viga ja mis tal lahti, aga selgus, et ta suri, vaakus hinge ja vaala kõhust leiti hunnik plastikkilekotte. Ja see oli ka surma põhjus või õigemini siis see viis surmani ja nüüd siis see vaalaskelett asub ka Bergeni muuseumis. Mis siis eesmärkidest lõppkokkuvõtteks öelda, et muuseumi jutust ja sellest ettekandest kindlasti tuleb välja, et eesmärk on mitte siis rõhutada seda, et kui kohutav asi on üks globaalprobleemidest kliimamuutused kui sellised, vaid inspireerida ja innustada noori olenemata vanusest edasi uurima ja õppima ja niimoodi just, et noortest tekiks edasine huvi sel teemal ka arutleda omavahel teistes oma kogukondades, kas või oma perega, oma koolis jätkates neid mõtteid ja arutelusid. Ja kuhu see võiks siis viia? Üks selline demokraatia eesmärk, et meil oleks paremad ja targemad otsused, ehk siis suunata läbi nende teadmiste julgust otsuste tegemistel, et need kodanikud, kes seal siis õpivad ja need head tarkused enda jaoks saavad, siis on nendel ka otsuste tegemise kindlus ja julgus tulevikus ja teadmine ka sellest, et nende otsused on siis olemasolevate teadmiste põhjal ka head otsused. Vot selline kiire kokkuvõte. Aga nüüd on suurepärane võimalus, et kui teil on küsimusi, mõtteid või kommentaare, siis me hea meelega tooksime need ka kuuldavale. Nii et Odette, Tetlie, temale siis esitati küsimusi. You can come once again on stage. Yes, thank you. Ja ma usun, et ka workshopi keskkonnas on neid küsimusi juba tekkinud, enne ma vähemalt seda nägin. So our first question goes like this. Actually, this was one thing that was on my mind as well. How to prevent panic in children? Because, sometimes they talk about the climate change and crisis and the end of the world. So how to prevent panic in children?
I think to prevent panic, to show some solutions, show that to also present not just everything that's going wrong, but also present research on how things on examples that things that are actually working. For example, preserving. For example, species that are coming back that have been what's it called, that has been endangered but are now growing in numbers again. To show that how to work against can be a part, can also have good results. So that they can also engage in being a part of finding to help the solutions. Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't often. I find it's actually more difficult to engage to to see that there's a problem and we are part of it, than to I don't know how it is here, but the big wave of climate stress and panic has left the youth a little bit now. I think that the new youth, it was more activism for 3-4 years back than what it is now. It seems to have quietened down a little bit, which I think is alarming. I want a little bit of panic back, please.
Yeah. So a quick translation. Põhimõtteliselt on siis küsimus kõlas järgmine, et kuidas siis seda kliimapaanikat noortes vältida, ja vastuse tagantpoolt ettepoole tulles, et on näha, et selline kliimapaanika vähemalt siis Norra näitel noorte seas on pigem vähenenud. Mainitud sai, et natuke tahaks isegi, et võib-olla seda paanikat tuleks tagasi, sest siis on inimeste tähelepanu terav, aga üldiselt just see, mis kõlas ka ettekandes, nimelt siis see, et rääkida noortele, et tegelikult lahendused on olemas, tuua näiteid sellest näiteks, kuidas ohustatud liikide päästmine ja on selliseid edulugusid, kus liikidega on saadud olukorda paremaks, ja näidates noortele, et ka nemad saavad olla osa lahendusest, ehk siis kui nemad selle teemaga võtavad ka tegeleda ja seda õpivad, harjutavad ja saavad meistriks, siis kõike tegelikult annab teha. Et selline lootuse ja teadmiste kiir. And our next question goes like this. How do you collect the data about the results of taking part in the program?
We collect the numbers we have from the bookings, the numbers of how many are joining. So we know at all times how many children have participated in the different programs and which ones are the most booked and so on. And the data's I'm not hired as a researcher. I used to have a research position in the teacher's education, but mine is now mainly an educator role. But we do when we develop the education programs, we have a feedback process where we have classes coming in for tests, and they are given both a spoken and written feedback, and then we develop further. Maybe make a lot of changes and so on to the next group, and we maybe do that in 2 different stages with 2 different test groups, and then we ask but it's not we can't use this as research. It's just for our own developing and for our own knowledge, that we ask the teachers to give feedback from the class, or students to and teachers to discuss in the school and send to us. More for our own way, that we know whether there's things we should change or have more of or less of, and so on. And of course that they have understood what we're doing.
Just, thank you. Põhimõte siis, kuidas sellist andmestikku saada, kuidas on õppeprogrammi tulemustega, et siis vastus kõlas järgmiselt, et ikkagi pigem on see selline tagasiside küsimise vorm, et kas siis näiteks kooliõpetajalt, kes oma rühma või lastega sinna programmi külastama tuli, et nad näiteks diskuteerivad pärast hiljem, mis neile meeldis, mida annaks parandada, mis neile meelde jäi, ja ka veendumus sellest just, et kas see programm ja sisu jõudis kohale, et siis noored annavad läbi oma õpetaja, läbi siis nende klasside selle tagasiside. Küll aga kui nüüd küsimus puudutas ka seda, et kas seda kuidagi uuringutes nüüd edasi kasutatakse, siis praegusel juhul me saime vastuse, et praegu veel mitte. And if you're ready for the next question, because there are plenty of these.
Are there? I hope there's no researchers' questions, just for the educator. Thank you.
Yes. So how long are your programs? All of them only indoors, or do you also use the opportunities of real natural environment?
We try to limit the programs to 1.5 hours because that's what the schools want, but we do have some that last up to 3 hours. For the youngest, it's about 45 minutes, like the ice is melting, it's for real. So we can say that it's 1 hour, including going to dressing rooms and so on. We have only 2 programs that we do outside. And one that we do go to the plant conservatory also.
Thank you. And once again, quick translation. I try to do my best.
Yeah, sure. You're very good.
Well, how can you tell? Maybe I'm not.
I can hear it by the flow.
Sounds okay. Yeah. Thank you for that. Niisiis, küsimus selle kohta, et kui pikad on programmid, on noorematele lastele 45-minutised ja üldiselt pooleteisetunnised. Väljas õppe kohta nii palju, et on seal 2 sellist programmikest, 2 klassi, kus ollakse täitsa vabaõhus ja 1 koht oli siis seoses taimede või siis et ütleme, et 2+1, et on tõesti, õues õpe on väga reaalne ja 1 osa sellest, ülejäänu praegusel juhul toimub siseruumides. Kas võime liikuda edasi järgmiste küsimuste juurde? Kuidas näod on? Ei ole ju väga väsinud, kõik on väga reipad. Kui tahate, võite vabalt ka ise vahepeal püsti tõusta ja ennast natuke ringutada, aga meie läheme järgmise küsimuse juurde. So, first of all, a comment. Amazing work.
Thank you.
How many teachers do you have in museum and who finances your work?
We are, it's a university museum, so it's the state, it's a government-funded museum. I'm the pedagogical leader, and we have Björn and Ida. They are museum educators. And we work together with researchers and teachers to create we have now, if you go in and book today, you can book 15 different education programs. So we create and we teach our educators these programs. But we don't have the people that are teaching it on a daily basis are knowledge hosts. It's sort of a mix between a guide and an educator and a guard in the museum. We don't use guards. We quit that in 2019. So we have knowledge hosts. They know a lot about the museum and are good at going into dialogue with audience or our guests. And a lot of them they are students, so they work in only 20% positions while they're doing a subject at the university. So they all have university-linked topics in their education, and they work and they get a teacher or the pedagogical training via me or Ida or Björn. So with only 3 on full-time working as pedagogues, but we have 26 knowledge hosts that participate in the teaching.
Very good. I try to do my best now, not to forget the numbers. Et siis ma proovin teha sellele küsimusele, mis puudutas, et kui palju on siis õpetajaid Norras Bergeni ülikooli muuseumis ja kes rahastab seda tööd. Rahastamine on lihtne, et on riiklikult rahastatud. Nüüd töötajate õpetajatega seoses on natuke selliseid huvitavaid keerdkäike, et tuumiku siis moodustavad seal 3 inimest ja nad on siis selle programmi nii-öelda põhivastutajad, aga asi läheb huvitavaks seal siis, et tegelikult on 26 inimest nagu veel, kes seda õppeprogrammi saavad esitada. Et kokku oli siis juttu, et praegu on töös 15 erinevat sellist teemaklassi ja selle pundi peale siis 26 + 3 inimest on niimoodi, et seal on erinevad tööülesanded ka jaotatud. Näiteks on huvitav teada seda, et kui mõnes muuseumis ja üleüldse oleme harjunud, et on vaja ka näiteks valvurite ja selliste administraatorite tööd, kahtlemata väga väärt töö, siis seal Bergeni ülikooli muuseumis valvureid, kui selliseid ei ole, on lihtsalt selle funktsiooniga inimesed, kelle nii-öelda ülesanne on ka silmad lahti hoida ja kõrvad lahti hoida ja põhiliselt siis inimeste küsimustega näiteks tegeleda, et nad suunata õigele rajale ja siis selle programmide siis tuumiku 3 inimese seast tuleb siis selline koolitus nüüd nendele inimestele, kes ka neid klasse läbi viivad. Et selline toredasti omavahel läbi põimunud süsteem inimestest, kellel on mitmekesised ülesanded ja mis veel jäi kõlama, et kõik nad on üht või teistpidi ikkagi selle Bergeni ülikooliga seotud, nimelt on siis ka seal kraadiõppurid, kes osalise koormusega, 20%-lise töökoormusega seal õppetöö edasiandmises osalevad ja töötavad. Nii et 3 inimest on põhikohaga tööl ja ülejäänud on vahvasti väiksemate koormustega. Nii, round of numbers. I hope that I get everything right. But anyway,
it sounded right.
Very, very good example. Thank you. Are there any materials in English based on your program?
You mean if I have any programs available in English?
Yeah, I mean like the program in your, for example, in Norwegian, do you have it similar in English?
No.
Not really,
no.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, we do. It's not in English online, but we do offer education programs to international school, for example, and we do have quite a lot of grundskole, the school for adults, for fresh, for new Norwegian speakers, for example. We have a lot of new Ukrainian members in that school, and we always try to adjust in. And we also adjust to different special needs schools and so on. So we adjust both language and we do hold the education programs in English too, if it's a question for that. But the material is not in English. But if you want me to send it to you, I can use this new tool, you know. But
yes, deep language or yes. Something maybe. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you. Yeah. Et lühikokkuvõte siis küsimusest sellele, et kas nende õppematerjalide puhul võib oodata, et neid on ka inglise keeles. Lühivastus on see, et ei, nad on praegu norra keeles. Küll aga jah, kui teil on huvi nende vastu, siis võib-olla saab mingeid trikke teha niimoodi, et kui see norra keel panna kuskile tõlkeprogrammi, et vaatame, mis sealt siis välja tuleb, et lahkesti on võimalik neid saata. Küll aga siis on selliseid, ma ei ütleks, et kohandatud programmi, aga ütleme sellist õppesisu inglisekeelset, kui selle vastu on kindel huvi näiteks rahvusvaheliste, siis kõlas seal ilmselt õppijate osas või näiteks kui on riiki sisserännanud inimesi, näiteks oli siis jutu ukrainlastest, Ukraina pagulastest, et siis luuakse nagu seda õppeprogrammi nende jaoks, kas või täiskasvanute koolituse jaoks või täiskasvanute kooli jaoks. Nii et midagi sellist. Loodetavasti rahuldab see küsimuse vastuse puhul. And we have plenty of more actually, but let's try to do our best. What is the basic conclusion of the CCS workshop? Is this an important solution for reducing greenhouse gas emissions?
It's a part of the Norwegian government's way of reducing CO2 emission, because we have such vast storage areas where there's been gas, water, and oil before. So it's a part of it's not it's started but it's not. And it's a part of the research, and they're hoping it's going to be a part of the solution. For me, it's also a little bit a political question, because it's many think it's, and you can think yourself, is this greenwashing? So what was the question? The basic conclusion of the workshop. It might be an important solution, but it's also huge costs connected to it, and it doesn't stop us consuming more. You know, it doesn't stop the consumptionist world. So it's sort of maybe well, now you're asking my political. I think it's putting a little bit of plaster on top of it. But in the workshop, we ask at the conclusion of the workshop. I tend to end it a little bit when it's different, depending on what kind of students that are there. But a part of the solution will, the conclusion will always be if they have better ideas for reducing CO2 emissions. If the students, we say that this is the government, this is one of their solutions. What would your suggestion to the government be? And they write it on different notes, and we read them out, and we also ask, so what are you willing to do yourself? That will always be part of the conclusion, because we don't want to conclude, and it's not a conclusion. It's just a try for how to reduce. Yeah, sorry.
Thank you. Et küsimus kõlas siis selle kohta, et kui nüüd süsihappegaasi sidumisest räägitakse ja selle süsihappegaasi kuskile ärapanekust, et siis Norra puhul, kui üks töötuba seal õppeprogrammis puudutab seda, et seda siis nafta ja gaasi puuraukudesse merepõhja alla kuskile ära viia, siis et mis järeldusi sellest teha ja kas nad üldse järeldusi seal teevad selle töötoa järel, siis see kõlas, et pigem tahetakse nende suurte ja põhjapanevate järelduste tegemisest hoiduda, rääkida sellest, kui et see on üks võimalikest lahendustest, kuid aga see ei vähenda ju ometi tarbimist, et see on nagu pigem tagajärgedega tegelemine ja näiteks kui noortelt selle töötoa järel küsida just seda, et aga mis oleksid nende soovitused nende valitsusele, nende juhtidele, et kuidas süsihappegaasi sidumist paremini teha või üldse vähendada süsihappegaasi emissiooni, siis pigem see on selliste arutelude ja paremate lahenduste pakkumise kokkuvõtete voor, võiks niimoodi öelda. I try to do my best so to ask one question more, which is in Estonian. Et ma teen siis kiiresti, et küsida üks eestikeelne küsimus, mis kõlab nii, kas teil on vajalik ka mingi ettevalmistus, mis koolid enne teevad, kui nad sinna programmile tulevad. Is there any, let's say, pre-training or preparation for those schools that are coming to your museum for a program?
No. We do, if the teachers ask, is there something I should prepare? We give them the topic that because in a lot of the programs we start with a dialogue as to see what do the students know from before they come here. So we can sort of build a little bit on top of that, because they all come with different backgrounds and different layers and levels of knowledge before. So we always have a little dialogue. So we sometimes ask the teachers, if they want to, they can do some pre-discussions with the students. But we don't want that to be. We don't give it out because we know that the teachers put so very different effort into it. That one day will come someone that doesn't know anything about it from before, and then. We want everyone to be able to start at the same level in a way. We have tried before to have a pre-workshop that they can do in school before they come, and an after workshop. But because the teachers do it so differently, we find it better that we start at the same point with everyone, but with the dialogue. Yeah.
Thank you. Ehk siis vastus küsimusele on see, et ei eraldi ettevalmistust ei nõuta, küll aga on täiesti vaba valik, kui näiteks koolis või klassis tahetakse enne pisut sellel teemal, eesootaval teemal arutelu pidada, aga oluline on siis alustada mingis mõttes ikkagi nullist ja sellisest esimesest dialoogist, kui noored sinna muuseumisse oma programmi tulevad. Kas teeme ühe suure aplausi veel Odettele. Thank you very much once again.